This podcast is for entertainment purposes only and does not substitute for professional medical advice. Please seek a medical professional or healthcare provider if you're seeking any medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Thanks, everyone.
So before we dive into today's episode, we want to give a huge shout out to our amazing sponsor, Larkin Staffing Agency in New York City.
Yes. So Jules was part of my trauma when I was just out of, residency, trying to look for a job. I mean, the time it takes to do that it's
insurmountable.
And you have to do it because once you finish residency, you want to have a plan to have a job after. So you have to do all of this while you're still working and learning and board studying.
I was
and
just
all
going to
these
say
things.
that.
So you have to find a job, and that can be just complicated because you don't know where you're applying. There's so many places to apply to.
And they're all different.
They're all different. They all have different information, different requirements. Yeah, exactly. Don't even get me started on HR. And then not only do you have to find a job, but then you need to find your references. You need to schedule your interview, which most of the time I don't have time to do it unless it's the weekend.
Exactly.
But anyways, imagine if you were to have a place that could do it all for you.
That would have been great even with Mario. I saw him doing that too.
Exactly.
It was insane.
Yeah. So then on the flip side, it's also hard for employers to hire quality people and find candidates.
Yeah.
So it's just as hard on both sides.
Exactly. Quality people that have the requirements and the things that you need, that are reliable, all those things, just to process everything. Because I can only imagine as an employer, you put something out there in one of these job recruiting websites and the slew of applications that must come into your inbox.
Exactly.
So it's how do you even handle that too on the
and how
side?
do you filter and how do you find someone that's going to be right for the job? Because you also can't interview everyone.
Exactly.
But here comes our sponsors to help. Larkin Staffing Agency is not just any staffing agency. They're a third-generation, family-owned, female-led small business run by incredible mother-daughter duos. With 87 years of experience under their belt, they have been cornerstones in the healthcare staffing industry, providing top-notch candidates for a wide range of positions. Whether you're a teeny-tiny private practice or a sprawling multi-hospital healthcare system, Larkin Staffing Agency has got you covered. They specialize in staffing nurses, medical assistants, techs, office managers, and so much more. Their candidates are truly the best in the business, ensuring that your healthcare facility runs smoothly and efficiently. So if you're in the New York City area and looking to staff your office, don't wait. Head over to their website at larkinagencystaffing.com or shoot them an email at info@larkinagencystaffing.com for more information. Remember, whatever your staffing needs are, clearly you need to start looking with Larkin.
Absolutely. And honestly, I have been in contact with them and they are some of the nicest, friendliest people. They're very, very helpful. Just contact. I guarantee you will just be in awe with how nice everyone is there. They really are great people. So we wanted to shout them out because if you're listening to this and you have any know-how or you've ever even tried to look for a job in the healthcare
It's very difficult
world, it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's just a lot of responsibility too. And, and you might not, you need to look for somewhere where you're going to be happy and that perfect fit. And they really come in to
help
do
you
all
out.
That legwork for you and basically make you the most successful candidate.
They just help out that whole process out so much because you're already dealing with all the stress of having to look for a job and trying to mitigate all that anxiety of trying to find a job. And they are there to help you out with that, so you can't go wrong. Give them a look, contact them.
Again, at larkinagencystaffing.com, or you can email them at info@larkinagencystaffing.com.
Yeah. All right. So back to our episode.
Yes.
It's like the moon and the sun. It's legitimately that. It's legitimately that. Look at that.
It wasn't this bad.
I just came from the beach.
No, I just came from my cruise.
Yesterday,
I was under the sun yesterday.
Oh my god.
Look at me. And this isn't, it's not just my makeup, guys. Like, look at my skin.
Yeah.
For those of you that are just listening, hi, welcome.
Welcome.
We started on a tangent because we saw each other again.
I know, finally.
I know. No more of that, like, online recording, at least for
That
now, right
was
now. That was
So painful.
an escapade of the worst type. An odyssey.
In my internet.
Yeah, we're
anyways.
working on those things. And we're talking about, even with all this lighting.
Lighting and stuff, I am dark and she is milk white.
And I just came back yesterday from the beach. I reflect the sun. I don't even use like 100 SPF or anything like that.
No, girl, this was a hat, sunglasses.
I do wear
reapplying
hats.
SPF every hour, okay? Like, just everything. It was the last day of the cruise that I just happened to just not wear anything on top. And I got, like, the craziest tan lines. Well, you can't see them now because then I got, like, sun after. But but even Mike was like, you were wearing the hat like 100% of the time. He's like, how did you get dark?
You're like Mario. I wish. Like, you guys get beautiful color. You actually get color. I stay dead. So
That's crazy. All right, well,
yeah, well, for those of you that are just listening, yeah, it's just a drastic difference. And she's very not happy with the chair that I'm in right
I
now.
hate this chair. I'm like,
Who got the ring light?
all right.
Okay. Because I'm using what was Mario's chair, and it has these really annoying armrests.
It like gives me like
It's literally
like
right
a barricade.
right in between us, and she's really not liking it.
Don't like it. Don't like it.
We're kind of used to in my house, like in my old house, that we're literally on top of each other because we have no space.
I know.
So we just got used to each other being like
feel
this.
So far away from you. Wasn't? No, and look at me. Like, I'm literally looking at sun hats.
I do wear big as fuck hats.
I do too. Even Colonel was like, you have your Jackie Kennedy going on today. But didn't work.
I mean, I had them like any of you that follow me on Instagram, you guys saw me with a different enormous hat that I look like a walking umbrella every day. But you know, yeah. Anyway.
Okay, anyways.
So today, welcome back. We're here
back.
in person. The audio quality is better. Everything's better. The video is better.
Yes.
We're back to normal.
back to
In a
normal.
different place
Yeah.
with a little live on air in the back for those of you that are watching. Anyway, so today we're talking about
Well, it's our recap.
exactly.
Yeah.
So the June
Our
recap.
June recap.
Yeah.
Which is my favorites.
It's her faves.
Yes.
Yes. We're gonna start. And again, I tried keeping it to the no. No, remember
sorry,
now
the
the
podcast.
the
Yeah.
recaps, we just moved them over to the weekly.
Oh, I thought we were doing like one and
We were.
and then now it's
Now we just like transferred them all over to
perfect.
every month we do the weekly.
oh perfect.
Yeah.
I love it. Everyone must have loved it. Loved it.
Hope, yeah, you guys let us know.
Yeah, you guys let us know. So just for those that are kind of tuning in for the first time, these episodes are basically just kind of new news in the medical world.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, some of these can be research articles. Some of them are kind of just like interesting new articles.
Yeah.
So we kind of like doing these episodes at least once a month because it kind of takes a break from
Exactly.
the topics, just like a hot topic. Okay.
Right. So, and then of course we can't possibly cover everything that's out there in the news. So we like cherry pick at least ones that like are very trending in the news, medical news, or that we found pretty interesting to talk about, wanted to talk about amongst each other. So here we go.
All right.
And then it says like June recap, but it's like anything before today's recording date, really. You know?
So we are recording. It is now July.
It is July 10th today. So
we
anything
are
before today.
recording a recap for June, which should come out soon.
Oh yeah, this will come out on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So
All
like
right.
less than a week. Well, 6 days from now. Anyway, so first one, go ahead.
First one. Let's do it. So tattoos may be a risk factor for lymphoma. This is by Mike Bazette. I've seen his name before. He writes a lot of articles.
Yeah, I mean, I get a lot from that page, so.
Okay. So this is from Mike Bazette, and this was published on May 28th. So this article from MedPage Today discusses a study suggesting that tattoos might increase your risk of developing lymphoma, okay, scary.
Yeah. That caught my eye.
Lymphoma is basically a type of cancer that affects the lymphatic system, and researchers found that certain chemicals in tattoo ink could potentially lead to inflammation and other changes in the body that might contribute to the development of lymphoma. The study highlights that there basically needs to be more research to fully understand the connection between tattoos and cancer risk. It also advises people to be cautious and consider the potential risks when deciding to get a tattoo. So this is kind of like a little bit of a trend. I feel like ever since there's been a trend on the health side of the world.
Yeah.
Everyone's been, looking deeper into the materials and the chemicals and everything that goes into the formulation of everything, and including ink when it comes to your body tattoos.
And it's become more acceptable, tattoos these days. So a lot more people are getting them versus before. When our parents' age, it was very different.
Do you have any tattoos?
No, I don't.
Either.
I was like, I've always wanted one, to be honest, but I've always chickened out because I have like commitment issues with like something being stuck on me for the rest of my
Still haven't
life.
found anything that I want permanently.
That's it. That's the thing. I'm like, what could I possibly want that I'm not gonna get tired of?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's.
I'm really into the fine art tattoos. Have you ever seen those?
No, wait.
Or fine line. I think
Yes, that's
fine line
what.
tattoos,
That's
fine
what.
arts.
Yeah, I'm like.
Fine line. I mean,
like
they
you're
look like fine art
I'm
too.
like you're
but
painting Van Gogh and stuff. I
some
mean
of
that's
them,
pretty
have you
cool.
seen them?
Yeah,
Some of them
yeah.
are impressive.
No, these tattoo artists are artists.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that I see, like scrolling on doom scrolling and whatever, I'm like, these are paintings on people, you know?
But the
It's
fine
incredible.
line ones are so
I know.
beautiful.
I like the finger ones.
And the finger ones, the small tattoos,
cute,
the
yeah.
tiny tattoos.
Yeah, that's so cute.
Real cute. But yes, be careful, guys.
Yeah.
Make sure you're looking at your ingredients.
Yeah. Oh, and Brownie is still with us, clearly, as you could tell in the back.
We don't know what he's looking at.
No, that's
Very into. Oh, he's looking at the airplane.
Probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Next.
Next. Okay. So, suicide risks higher for women with premenstrual disorders by Shannon Firth on May 28th, 2024. So, the article from MedPage Today discusses a significant health concern. Women with premenstrual disorders, or PMDs, are at higher risk of suicide. PMDs, which include conditions like premenstrual syndrome, PMS, and premenstrual dysmorphic disorder, PMDD, can cause severe emotional and physical symptoms before menstruation. The study highlighted in the article found that women suffering from these disorders are more likely to experience suicidal thoughts and behaviors compared to those without PMDs. This finding underscores the importance of recognizing and treating PMDs to potentially reduce the risk of suicide among affected women. The article calls for increased awareness and better mental health support for women dealing with these conditions. Which, hormones are a bitch, okay? Like, hormones are just horrific. So I could only imagine if you have to deal with something like this. I'm glad that they're putting a spotlight into it, you know?
Yeah, not only that, but I feel that because women are the only ones that really suffer through that, and it's always considered like, oh, well, she's about to get her period. And she's just
eye roll, like
yeah, exactly.
You know,
and okay,
swear.
yes, that's happening.
But
okay,
it's
we all know
real.
that, but it's a real thing, and they're finally paying some attention to the actual symptoms and the consequences of these symptoms. And I agree with what the study is saying. It needs to bring more awareness. I don't think that there's a lot of people that really talk about their PMDs because I think they're afraid that it's gonna be attributed to like, oh, she's just sensitive.
Exactly. You're gonna get shamed and like talked crap about like you just having your period. It's like, guys, like if guys had to deal with the hormonal fluctuations that we have to deal with, they probably have those days off from work.
And again, I don't think that it's like every guy out there is just like, shitting on us.
100% no.
But I do feel like it was not really an important thing before, and now
I mean, it's a stereotype for a reason.
it
you
is.
know?
Exactly.
So anyway, but I'm glad that there's some attention actually being brought into it.
Yes. So next up, more than 4 million chickens to be killed in Iowa after officials detect bird flu on a farm. That sounds terrible. Just like 4 million chickens, we're just gonna off them. That's like my sensitive side right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so this article is by Lee Cohen, updated on May 29th, 2024. So over 4 million egg-laying chickens will be killed at an Iowa farm after bird flu was detected there. The highly contagious and deadly virus was found in a flock of 4.1 million chickens at a farm in Osceola County, Iowa. State officials have quarantined the farm, and chickens will be killed to prevent the disease from spreading further. This outbreak is the latest in a string of bird flu cases that have led to the killing of over 24 million poultry birds across the U.S. since the start of the year. In Iowa alone, only 13 million over.
Only like nothing.
In Iowa alone, over 13 million birds have been killed to control the spread of the virus. Bird flu, also called avian influenza, is a highly contagious viral disease that can spread quickly among birds. It can be transmitted through direct contact with infected birds or contaminated surfaces. While the risk of bird flu infecting humans is low, it can cause severe illness and death in people and in rare cases. So it's crazy because we started talking about bird flu on our recaps.
Exactly.
And then before before it said humans were not at risk right now, or they didn't find any potential harm. And then now the months have gone by, now we even have severe illnesses and deaths that have been reported in rare cases. So check out our previous episodes if you want to just listen to it from the beginning.
Yeah, it may have started in April or March. Like,
no,
it's been months.
It's been a few months. Yeah. So to control the bird flu outbreaks, infected and exposed birds are typically killed and disposed of. Poultry farms also implement strict biosecurity measures to prevent the introduction of and spread of the virus, such as limiting the access to poultry houses and disinfecting the equipment. They should be doing that anyways.
I know. It's like, oh, well, you just started now?
Exactly.
Maybe that's why we have this problem.
Where was your biosecurity before? So the widespread killing of poultry due to bird flu has impacted the egg and poultry industries, and as well as consumers through reduced supply and or higher prices. However, controlling these outbreaks is critical to prevent the more devastating losses for poultry producers and to protect the public health. And also, it's not because, I'm a huge, PETA. Yeah. Right? It's PETA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not that, but I mean, goddamn, you're going to just off 4.1 million chickens?
Yeah, man.
Am I being...
No, that's no.
That hurts me.
Yeah. I mean, for anybody, maybe poultry farmers are just like, oh, that's just another Tuesday. But like for us, people that are nowhere...
4.1 million.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of freaking chickens.
It's a lot of poor, innocent chickens.
I know.
I can't...
sick. It's not even their fault.
But the thing is that, like, you got to see it. If they treat those chickens, to like...
No, I mean, no one's going to eat those
Nobody's going to eat it.
Yeah,
so it's like...
I'm not going to eat those chickens.
Exactly.
And
so
then,
what are they going to do?
Yeah, they're not going to release them out to the wild so that every animal out there has.
Yeah. You have to contain it.
Oh my God.
It's the only way.
Imagine if they would have done that with humans in COVID.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No.
Wow. I just went real morbid.
Yeah. You went where I typically go. What happened to you in that cruise?
I don't know why I thought of that.
I was thinking of the Holocaust there for a minute. And I'm like, well, they kind of did that, way back then.
Okay.
Horrible, yeah.
All right, well,
horrible.
Okay, back to funny medicine.
Jeez, yeah.
Not dark medicine.
And see us in October, and we'd get pretty dark, like our lobotomies.
Yeah, I know we do get pretty dark in October. Yeah. Okay, Jules is gonna do the next one.
Okay, all right. All right, so Manitoba doctor accused of defrauding another physician by faking cancer, lying to college, by Caroline B. and Kristen Annable. CBC News on May 27, 2024. So a doctor in Manitoba, Canada, named Monica Kehar, or Kehar, I'm going to go with Kehar, has been accused of serious misconduct and fraud. According to a notice of hearing from the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Manitoba, Dr. Kehar allegedly lied to another doctor, saying that she had been diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic cancer. She claimed that this fake cancer diagnosis prevented her from working and paying back a large loan of $300,000 that the other doctor had given her. The notice says that Dr. Kehar provided fake medical records and lab results to support her false cancer claims. She also allegedly misled the College of Physicians and Surgeons, which regulates doctors in the province, by denying she had borrowed the money and by submitting false financial records. Like total fraud in every front.
Jesus.
As a result, these accusations of dishonesty and fraud, Dr. Kehar is facing disciplinary action from the college. If the allegations are proven true at an upcoming hearing, she could lose her medical license for improper and unethical conduct, becoming of a doctor. Yeah. The article notes that Dr. Kahar is still allowed to practice medicine for now, but the uncertain restrictions in place while the investigation with certain restrictions in place while the investigation is ongoing. In summary, the Manitoba doctor is in serious trouble for allegedly lying about having cancer in order to avoid repaying a large loan from a colleague and misleading the medical licensing body.
I mean, but my question is, what did she do with the $300,000?
Exactly.
Like, she lied about not being able to pay that back
So what
because of her cancer, but what did you use that for?
was it for her schooling?
I don't know.
Dude, but like lying about cancer?
No, fake labs, fake diagnostic reports.
No, she like
fake,
totally
financial documents.
she went ham on that.
I don't understand how she's still able to practice.
Exactly. I know that investigations are still going, but like how are you allowing her to still practice when she's able to falsify records like that?
Yeah.
You know? Then you actually have to investigate on all her records, really.
Yeah.
In all her practice that she's done. How many if she's able to do that for herself, then she's probably been able to do it for others.
I mean, dude, it's crazy to me how some people lie
Yeah.
and put up,
Yeah.
you know what it is, to fake that you have cancer.
Yeah. And then do, like you said,
And,
the labs and everything.
falsify labs, falsify diagnostic reports, like falsify like maybe the doctors that you're seeing. Like, what did you also falsify? Like, did you walk
Probably.
around with an IV and telling people that you had chemo? Like,
God only knows. People are sick.
yeah.
It's just, it was mind boggling to me when I saw that. I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot.
Impressive.
It's a lot.
Yeah, seriously.
Anyway.
Okay, so Florida allows doctors to perform C-sections outside of hospitals. Okay, so this one was huge. I remember a lot of people talking about this. So this is by Phil Galowitz on May 28th, 2024. So a new law in Florida now allows doctors to perform C-sections or cesarean sections. That is when they make an incision to give you a delivery of an infant. Okay. So they are basically allowing C-sections to be performed at advanced birth centers, which are facilities outside of hospitals. So previously, C-sections could only be done in hospitals. Now the law aims to give pregnant women more options for where to give birth. Advanced birth centers are required to have operating rooms and follow the same safety standards as hospital surgical suites. They must also have agreements with nearby hospitals to transfer patients in case of emergencies. Supporters say that the law will increase access to care, especially in rural areas far from hospitals. They believe that it will be more convenient and comfortable for mothers, but critics are worrying about doing C-sections outside of hospitals, and that basically comes with extra risks and complications when complications are going to arise.
Yeah.
So about 1 in 3 babies in Florida and the U.S. are born via C-section. Most C-sections are not emergencies, so supporters argue many can be safely done in birth centers. The Florida Association of Nurse Anesthesiology warns that birth centers may not be as equipped as hospitals to handle the complications.
How do you feel about this?
I
Like,
do not think that this is safe.
yeah, it's a cesarean.
Yeah.
People-
We're not talking about a minimally invasive procedure.
I feel like most people think these days that a C-section is like an easy procedure. It's full-on surgery.
Yes, exactly. This is a full-on surgery, like an abdominal surgery, okay, that you need to cut through to get to your uterus. You need to cut through the uterus to get the baby out.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the time, women will suffer emergencies during the C-section.
Right.
So a lot of the times, thankfully, because of science, we've been able to do C-sections with an epidural.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, they give you anesthesia from a level in your spine, like all the way down, so you don't feel anything. And they're able to do the C-section and you're awake, like you're actually aware of what's going on. However, there's been plenty of times where an emergency arises and they need to intubate you. So they need to do general anesthesia and intubate you. And there's plenty of times where women have hemorrhages.
That's what I was
where
gonna say,
They
yeah.
have amniotic fluid emboli. Like, there's so many things.
Or
of
the baby.
complications- Or the baby, exactly. So I was just telling you about the women's side of it.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about the baby side of it. What happens if that baby does not do well? So are you also, apart from the making sure that there's a good OR, are you also going to make sure that there is a good
fetal, like, or a neonatal team there,
Right.
or a pediatrician there, like, what are you going to do about that?
I don't know.
And I understand. I think there's this whole entire push on. I think there's been a lot of shit. Like, a lot of people are shitting on medicine in general.
Oh yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
So, and I'm just gonna be honest about that. I think a lot of people shit on health teams and doctors and the way that they do things. And I think a big part of it is through social media. And don't get me wrong, I think social media really gives a lot of people other information and other options and things to think about. But that doesn't mean that every option out there is the good option,
Right.
and the safe option.
Right.
So
There's a lot of misinformation on
yes,
social media.
Exactly.
A
So
lot.
yes, most home births, most births that are at outside centers are okay. But
Right.
what about the one that is not? So do you really want to take that risk? If you are hemorrhaging in the OR,
Yeah.
you really want to go through the whole entire thing of calling, transferring, going to another place.
You may
and
not
then-
have the time.
Yeah, and so, and now another thing that I'm thinking about, if someone is operating on me and I have a complication and they transfer me to another hospital, now another physician
Right.
needs to take over,
Right.
right? So one, I'm not comfortable with that because I don't know that physician,
Yeah.
right? But it's an emergency, right? So it's like, I don't know, whenever you have an emergency, you're just going to go to an ED doctor, right? But what about the obstetrician
Exactly.
on the other side? So now they have to take care of something that you started at an outside center.
Yep.
So it's not as straightforward. It's not just like, oh yeah, hey, like Florida now passes a law that you can have a C-section outside of a hospital. And I'm just like, why?
I don't get it. When I saw it, I'm like, this is not a good idea, and I don't get it. I don't understand why. Why? Like how?
I don't even want to go to a hospital like at nighttime or during the weekend because I just know that the staff is going to be like lower.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
you're not going to have the support that you usually have during a weekday daytime shift. Right?
Exactly.
So it's like now people are wanting that. And I don't think that there's like the idea, it's a beautiful idea. Okay, like great. I don't have to go to a hospital. I'm gonna go to a center. It's gonna be more tailored, right? Because everyone that goes there is gonna have the same
Right.
thing going
Right.
on. Right. So I think that that's a very floofy,
Yeah.
idea.
That's a good angle to like market that. Yeah.
Exactly.
I
Now
don't-
safety of it,
I don't know. Yeah.
I'm not
I agree.
I don't know. I don't agree for now.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future, if there's like different situations, or if they have
Yeah.
like a team there, like an emergency team,
Yeah.
or maybe if they have a trauma base, something, like something to
Yeah.
really make sure that they can take care of you. But no, so if you ask them, well, what happens if there's a complication? Well, yeah, then we boot you to the hospital. Like that's the answer, right?
Yeah, that's the problem. Because a lot of these, if you're going through like one of these hemorrhages, you may not have the time to be transferred to a hospital.
Yeah, and hemorrhage is just like one complication.
I know that. That's
like
why it's like
6,000
just
million,
100%.
And ones
that's
that are more immediate.
exactly. And the baby,
Yeah.
like you don't know. And a lot of things like, oh yeah, we have ultrasounds, we have all these tests to like check on the baby and the mom, their health and how, try to predict everything is gonna go well and everything goes well, right?
Yeah.
But reality is like there's only so much that those tests like predict.
Yeah, and there's only so much that you can do in an OR,
Yeah, I don't know why this happened. Like I really don't know why like they passed this. This
I
is
think it's for money.
it's got to be because
I think it's for money. I think there's people that are banking on this idea of
opening these centers and whatever.
yes, of
Yeah.
opening up a center and that
Yeah.
because they know that home births have been increasing over the past few
Yeah.
years.
Yeah. Especially after COVID.
And especially after COVID.
Yeah.
So I think they are taking advantage. And I mean, that's just my opinion. This is,
Yeah.
it's
It's our opinions.
everyone is more than welcome.
Oh,
I'm
100%.
open to teaching moments.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. It's just by what you've seen professionally, in your rounds.
Yeah,
and
and
your,
I don't follow them up, right? Because I'm on the kid side of it. So I follow the infant, but I don't know how many times, like, people have complications after surgeries all the time.
It's just C-sections have become like so common. Like, there has been an uptick on C-sections, right? So then people think that since it's like common, these days, oh, it's not a really big procedure. It's just a C-section.
Yeah.
it's not, it's a major surgery.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people don't think that.
C-sections?
Exactly.
Like, so what happens if you don't even get to
Yeah.
the whole entire part about the surgery? Like, what about an emergent C-section?
Yeah. True.
So you don't have a lot of time.
That's the thing. It's such a dicey moment. Birth, I mean, and it's coming from two moms. Thankfully, neither one of us had like complications, thank God, knock on wood. But we've been through giving birth.
Yeah.
It's such a dicey situation. There's so many moving parts. There's so many things happening.
Yeah.
So many things that could happen, and anesthesia too.
Yeah.
Like the epidurals.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times you could have complications with epidurals and stuff like that. Oh, you could just go on and all the things that could go wrong.
Yeah. And now I'm wondering, there's been a lot of push as well that other people can start doing C-sections that are not obese.
My God.
Oh, yeah. Definitely been pushes on that. So that's another thing. So I feel like this is just that first foot in the door.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do we really want to open that door?
Oh my. Again, but you see, that's what I'm getting. Like,
and it really sucks because
people don't see how big of a surgery it is.
Yeah, and I'm going off on a tangent here, but I follow many babies that do home births, right?
Yeah.
And there are some people that come into my office with these expectations. And most of the things I cannot do or I cannot give them answers to because nothing was documented at the home birth.
Oh, right.
Nothing was a real, like the history wasn't probably properly taken.
Yeah.
So they come in with these expectations of like, okay, well, how can you help me do this? And I'm like,
it's just like, well, I'm kind of stuck, you know?
My God.
Like,
my hands are like really tied for some things. So then it comes off as in I'm not making the effort to help. Right?
I could see, yeah. Oh,
so,
boy.
And it's okay. And I'm going to try to help, obviously, as much as I can. But I tell the parents, I'm like, I'm very limited in what I can do.
Because you're limited in the information.
And I'm limited on my options.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Maybe this is something that ends up being very successful. And
hopefully.
It might be a good door that we open. I'm a little skeptical.
Yeah, same.
And I think a lot of people are skeptical.
Same. I'm no doctor, but my husband works in the ER, and I mean, he's not an ER doc, but he works in the ER.
Yeah.
And he sees all sorts of things. And when he saw this news too, he's like, this makes no sense. At least for me, it makes no sense. And it's made sense to some people, I guess, for them to pass it. So anyway.
And again, there's plenty of outpatient surgical centers, right? But it's usually minor procedures.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I do not think a C-section is a minor procedure.
That's my biggest takeaway from this. And I'm like, it's just perpetuating that already existing dangerous thought that a C-section is minor.
Normal. Yeah, exactly.
And it's not. You're penetrating so many different layers and organs. You're actually penetrating an organ. Your uterus is an organ. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like people are just like, oh, it's just like, they're just going to take a little thing off. And, anyway.
Yep. All right.
So depression, schizophrenia, and bipolar disorder are linked with ancient viral DNA in our genome by Rodrigo Duarte. Sorry, Brownie is being very intrusive right now for no good reason. Douglas Nixon, Timothy Powell, and The Conversation US on May 29th, 2024. So our DNA contains remnants of ancient viruses that infected our ancestors millions of years ago. Scientists have found that some of these viral bits of DNA are more active in the brains of people with certain mental illnesses, like depression, schizophrenia, and bipolar disorder. Normally, these viral genetic sequences are kept quiet by ourselves, but sometimes they can become active and potentially impact brain development and function. Researchers studied the brains of deceased people who had these psychiatric disorders and found the viral genes were turned on more compared to healthy brains. These viral elements make up a surprisingly large 8% of our genome. Most are inactive, quote-unquote, junk DNA, but the ones linked to mental illnesses appear to be influencing genes involved in brain health. However, the study only shows a correlation, so more research is needed to prove if the activated viral genes actually cause these disorders. The ancient viruses themselves are not causing infection. They are just small genetic remnants left behind from infections long ago in human evolution. These findings open up a new avenue to study the biological causes of these complex psychiatric disorders and potentially find new ways to diagnose and treat them based on the viral gene activity. I thought that was like pretty cool.
I know, it's so creepy.
Right?
I know, it's like, wait, what? I have some viral particles. It's like,
Yeah.
that may potentially lead to like mental health.
And it's just like passed on and passed on and passed on.
I know. It's so crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of mind blowing. But anyway.
Oh my God, it's just creeping me out because it's like virology. So I have the whole entire like process like happening in my brain.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's, you know, like it's like taking over the brain, you know?
Yeah, like a little prion.
Yeah, like a little. Julie knows I
I knew it. I knew that was like a trigger word for her.
hate prions.
It's like that or parasites.
Oh,
Those two things are
gross.
just like the worst
Not.
things for you.
Yeah, it's like not. You knew. No prions, no parasites, all right?
Oh, God. Anyway.
All right.
Yeah, so next.
Okay, so Parkinson's disease could be prevented by a recent tetanus vaccine. This is by Claire Wilson on the 29th of May, 2024. So researchers have discovered that a recent tetanus vaccine may help prevent Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's is a brain disorder that causes tremors, stiffness, and difficulty with movements. It affects around 10 million people worldwide. In a study, scientists found that people who received the tetanus vaccine were 31% less likely to develop Parkinson's over the next 10 years compared to those who were unvaccinated.
It's pretty big.
Yeah. The protective effect was even stronger.
Sorry.
So the protective effect was even stronger for people who got the vaccine at an older age. The tetanus vaccine seems to work by stimulating the immune system. Parkinson's is caused by abnormal clumps of a protein called alpha-synuclein in the brain. The researchers believe that the vaccine helps the body produce antibodies that clear out these toxic protein clumps. More research is still needed, but scientists are hopeful that this discovery could lead to new ways to prevent Parkinson's, which is huge.
Yeah.
The next step would include developing vaccines specifically designed to target alpha-synuclein. For now, staying up to date on your tetanus shots may provide added bonus on lowering your Parkinson's risk.
You're cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
How did they even? But there's so much advancements right now.
Yeah.
You see like links between certain cases and differences
And
things.
Parkinson's, along with Alzheimer's and stuff like that, they're having a moment.
Yeah.
Like in all these discoveries on
Alzheimer's
new.
is huge. New research.
Yeah.
on everything is
Yeah.
great.
So it's pretty cool, all the things that we're
I
seeing.
forgot to send you an article about the new Alzheimer's drug.
Probably, yeah. I haven't seen it.
There's like a new Alzheimer's drug that like actually reverses.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I think that's what they said, that it either doesn't let it progress. Okay, the medicines that they have now, it's like you
like
have to
slows
take
it.
forever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But it like slows it, but you're still like getting all those things.
Right,
But
right.
The new medicine now,
Uh-huh.
it's like it actually like stops it.
Damn.
Yeah, which is crazy.
That is
But
crazy.
It's like they set the price, so it was like insane.
Well, it's like everything. Everything when it starts off until you get generics. And that takes like at least 10 years.
Yeah,
To
but
get
I'll
there.
send you the
Yeah, send it to me.
okay. That's all you. It's all
Oh,
Julie.
man. I knew it. When I added this here, I'm like, she's gonna. Exactly. For those of you watching, you saw the eyes.
Yeah.
They turn like extra big. And they're already big, but they turn extra big. It's just like, wait. Anyway. So ancient Egyptian skull shows oldest known attempt at treating cancer by Chen Lai, or yeah, it's gotta be Lai, on May 29th, 2024. Archaeologists have discovered what appears to be the oldest known attempt to treat cancer on a 4,000-year-old skull from ancient Egypt. I'm sorry, but how the fuck is that not cool?
I mean, yeah, it's cool for sure.
That's like ridiculous. Anyway.
I know.
So-
I was like wondering what did they do? Did like shove something up their nose and like try to, I don't know. Okay.
So, yeah, the skull, which belonged to a man in his 30s or 40s, has tiny etchings that suggest someone tried to remove a tumor from the bone.
So when they used to do the embalming process,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think they used to
Yeah, get up and then...
yeah, exactly.
then-
They would take out the brain through the nose.
Yep.
So that's what I was saying. Let me guess. They just shoved something up the nose and did that.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the skull was found in a tomb in Quebet El Hawa, I think an ancient Egyptian necropolis near Aswan, which I've been to Aswan. It was absolutely beautiful. And I'm like remembering that now. Man, if I would have only known that before, but of course they find this now.
Yeah.
But like, I think it was like 10 years ago when I saw, I would have geeked out. I would have been like, look at that. Anyway, examination revealed a large tumor that had been eroded through the skull bone. Tiny etchings around the tumor suggest that someone tried to carefully scrape it away. So they opened like skin then, and then
Tried to scrape.
Yeah. This is the earliest known example of an attempt to surgically treat cancer. Previously, the oldest evidence of cancer treatment came from a 3,000-year-old skeleton with signs of medicinal treatment. The researchers believe that the etchings were an attempt to remove the tumor, likely to relieve the patient's symptoms since the cancer was very advanced. However, there are no signs of healing, suggesting the patient likely died during or shortly after the procedure. While the ancient medical texts from Egypt mention tumors, this discovery provides rare physical evidence of how they tried to treat cancer over 4,000 years ago. It shows that ancient Egyptian doctors recognized abnormal growths and were willing to surgically intervene in an attempt to help their patients, even if treatments were likely painful and unsuccessful against advanced disease. The find provides a fascinating glimpse into early efforts to understand and treat cancer.
I wonder who the person was.
I
Like,
know.
wonder,
It must have
where
been.
they were. It has to have been someone high up.
Yeah. They're not
Because
going to
if
do
you're
that to
gonna
like
do-
anybody.
No.
Yeah.
Peasant.
Peasants.
Goodbye.
Yeah, exactly. Been off with you.
Yeah.
You know.
Good luck.
Exactly.
Good luck in the next
But
life.
like I remember when I went, I saw like they showed us like the tour guide had shown us like hieroglyphs of where they had like how to do a cesarean
That's crazy.
back then, 4,000 years ago. That blew my mind. I was able to actually see it, and like it was there. Like you saw the whole like little hieroglyph, like so a little picture of it. It was fast. I was like, how?
How? I know.
I remember like these are at least that what we know from their writings and all that stuff. It's very rudimentary tools
Yeah.
and medicines and stuff like that. So I don't. From our understanding, they weren't really like sedated or anything to be able to
They
do
just
that.
had milk of the poppy.
You love that milk of the poppy. You fucking love it. Where'd you even hear milk of the poppy?
Probably Game of Thrones.
So you've seen Game of Thrones finally?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, my
good.
cousin's seen Game of Thrones.
Okay.
I just haven't seen the new season of House of Dragons.
Oh, okay. I just caught up yesterday.
No,
It's
don't tell me anything.
it's really good.
Don't tell me anything. But yeah, so
Yeah.
they,
Milk of the
if they were
poppy.
me, I'd be like, give me all
All of the
the
milk.
milk of the poppy.
All of it.
Yeah.
All of it. Yeah. I don't know. But anyway.
Smart antibiotic can kill deadly bacteria while sparing the microbiome. By Fred Schwaler on May 29, 2024. Oh my god, finally, something invented that doesn't have us, like, have diarrhea. Antibiotics. Okay.
Seriously.
So scientists have developed a new type of smart antibiotic that can precisely target and kill harmful bacteria while leaving the beneficial bacteria in your gut microbiome unharmed. This is an important advance because current blood spectrum. Okay. This is an important advancement because why did I say advancement? The word is advance. Right?
We're being a little punchy today.
I know. This is an important advance because current broad spectrum antibiotics kill both good and bad bacteria, which can lead to the side effects and antibiotic resistance. The new smart antibiotic works by using small molecules called nanobodies that can bind only. I just wanted to make sure that I said that right. That binds only to specific proteins on the surface of a target bacteria. The nanobodies are attached to a toxin that kills the bacteria once the nanobody binds to it. In experiments, the smart antibiotic successfully kills the dangerous C. diff bacteria, a common cause of severe diarrhea, while not harming the other gut bacteria. Being able to spare the microbiome is key because the trillions of beneficial bacteria living in our intestines are crucial for digestion, immunity, and overall health. And if you check out our previous episodes, it's now becoming,
Huge
that our gut is a huge link to our mental health.
Yep.
So wiping them,
mind-gut.
the mind-gut connection. Wiping them out with indiscriminate antibiotics can allow dangerous bacteria like C. diff to take over.
Mm-hmm.
While this is still in the early stages, the nanobody targeting approach represents the exciting strategy to create more precise antibiotics that avoid the collateral damage to our microbiome. With further development, smart antibiotics could become valuable tools for fighting bacterial infections while maintaining a healthy community of good bacteria in the gut.
Yeah.
And no diarrhea. Yay!
Exactly. Huge, huge. And mostly because if you're talking about like immunocompromised people and stuff like that, yeah, then you give them an antibiotic and it makes everything. I mean, there's so many benefits to that. Like, honestly. Anyway, so very different now. Gangs mix another potent sedative in the U.S. street drugs causing mass overdoses by Brian Mann on May 29, 2024. So a dangerous new chemical called
Metatomine.
there you go, is increasing. I thought I killed the stupid bug.
Nope.
Jesus Christ. Summer in Florida. So a dangerous new chemical called
Metatomine.
that is increasingly being found mixed into street drugs like fentanyl, leading to a surge of overdoses in cities across the US and Canada since late April 2024. That drug is a potent sedative normally used by veterinarians to tranquilize animals.
Yes.
Fabulous. When mixed into illicit drugs, that chemical, can cause the human heart rate to drop extremely low to life-threatening levels as low as 20 beats per minute compared to normal range of 60 to 100.
Yeah. I was going to say, if your heartbeat drops to that, people are going to do chest compressions.
Yeah. So over 160 people were hospitalized with these symptoms in Philadelphia alone over a short 3 to 4 day period. This chemical does not respond to naloxone, Narcan, the medication typically used to reverse opioid overdoses. Great. There's currently no way for the drug users to detect if this chemical is present in the drugs they purchase on the street. Public health advisories are warning of the dangers and urging increased awareness and preparation among first responders and emergency rooms. Experts believe Mexican drug cartels and distribution gangs are experimenting with adding this chemical and other unusual chemicals to fentanyl and other drugs in an effort to make the high more potent and long-lasting. However, the long-term health effects are unknown and likely to be severe. The spread of, just say it one more time, there, threatens to reverse.
I feel like I'm something broken. I'm like, metatomine. Metatomine.
I feel like you're summoning a demon or something.
Metatomine.
Oh God.
Arise, metatomine.
Oh God.
To me.
Please don't. Please
So
don't.
many tangents today.
Yeah. Over 107,000 Americans still died of drug overdoses last year. So experts are urging drug users to be aware that they are now playing Russian roulette with an increasingly toxic illicit drug supply. Finding addiction treatment is more urgent than ever. So yeah, definitely reconsider your illicit drug source. Better if you don't do it at all. Yeah, but this is new and it's pretty freaking scary because Narcan does not work against it.
Yeah, and we use similar. We use similar drugs like the metatomine. We use similar drugs for surgeries, for all of that, like for sedation purposes.
Yeah.
So it's so scary how these drug cartels are taking all this science and using it to be like, well, how can... It's like, you already have heroin. Like,
I know.
What more would you want?
They want it longer.
So what do you want? You want to put yourself, like, you want to put the other person in this state of almost death.
Yeah.
Right?
20. What? It was 20, right?
20, yes, 20 BPMs.
Oh my God.
So
that's
per minute.
Dead.
Yeah.
Like,
so
you're pretty much dead at that point. Like,
that's where you want, and also, how is that attractive to other people?
it's just when you're addicted, like,
Yeah. When
That's
you're
the thing.
addicted, you're gonna buy anything that you can afford, and it's gonna be laced with all these other things.
Exactly.
Because they're experimenting, and that's the worst part about it. Is that they're experimenting.
exactly.
So they don't really care.
No,
if you
they
have
don't.
complications.
They don't care. Like the end goal is that to provide you with like more options or cutting it with more, and then it makes it's attractive to these people buying it. Unfortunately, because they're selling it as it lasts longer and it's stronger. So you're buying less, but for more. So it's just it's crappy, man. But anyway. Yeah, and again, it's in Philly. Philly's already had a real rough time with opioid usage. And it just, right when they were finally, like, seeing a little bit better, then this freaking thing comes out. But anyway, well, this is right up your alley.
Yeah. So kids are starting menstruation earlier. Studies show here's what it means for their health. So menstruation is basically when girls finally have their period, okay, or they go through menarche. So this is by Madeline Holcomb. Madeline Holcomb.
Yeah, I guess.
Why can't I say that name? By Madeline Holcomb. And this was published on CNN May 30th, 2024. So a new study has found that girls are starting their periods earlier than in the past. On average, girls today get their first period around the age of 12, which is a few months earlier compared to 20 to 30 years ago. There are several reasons why this may be happening. One, girls tend to weigh more now than previous generations. Carrying that extra body fat can actually cause hormonal changes that trigger early puberty and menstruation. So yes, obesity can put you at premature puberty.
You know, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Like,
obesity is a risk factor.
huh?
So if you notice a lot,
Interesting.
if you have if there's a patient that is obese, you're gonna already have like breast tissue production.
Right.
We usually order a bone age. So bone age is basically an X-ray of your wrists, and we compare it to see if your age, your chronological age, is the same as your bone, or if your bones are more advanced.
Right. Okay.
So yes, obesity is a risk factor. Chemicals in the environment, food, and personal care products may disrupt hormones and lead to early puberty as well. So this one definitely needs more research in order to confirm that link. Genetics also plays a role in when puberty starts. If a girl's mother started her period early, then her daughter is more likely to do that as well.
Okay.
While getting your period a few months earlier may not seem like a big deal, there are some health implications to consider. So girls who start menstruating earlier at a higher girls who start menstruating earlier are at higher risk of depression, anxiety, and eating disorders in their teen years. This may be due to emotional stress of puberty.
Yeah.
So it's huge fluctuation in hormones. So that's going to affect your mental health as well as other things. So, and then starting menstruation early can be confusing and distressing for young girls, even if they aren't prepared for the life changes of puberty in general. The takeaway is that while the age of girls' first period is mostly out of her control, maintaining a healthy weight, limiting exposure to environmental chemicals, and having open conversations about puberty can help promote both physical and emotional well-being during this transition. If parents have any concerns, they should always discuss it with your child's pediatrician. So this is it's I have girls that have a period at 9.
What?
Oh yeah.
At 9?
At 9, yeah.
Oh my God.
At 9. So their brain
It's got to be different. Yeah.
Is not ready for that transition.
Oh my God.
You know?
Yeah. There's the development of the brain is not there yet for all those hormones, I think.
They're so very immature, and they get scared of it, and they just don't understand it. They don't really understand what
it's a lot,
why they have it, and
what
does that even mean?
It's a lot, yeah.
And then not only that, but now you know your body changes, and no one else's is. Right.
Yeah.
So everyone like singles you out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a huge stress. And then also the connection between longer exposure to estrogen. And that's also been studied in other areas of medicine. And also just all the other things that comes along with a menstrual cycle. It's just a big change for the body in general. I mean, even girls with type 1 diabetes and even boys, when they hit that puberty, it's like sugars are out of control. It's like a very well-known thing. Like everyone's kind of waiting for it.
Oh, damn. And I cannot picture a 9-year-old having to deal with pads and tampons, like things like that. Things to deal with a period.
Yeah.
Like the responsibility of having to deal with that annoyance. Oh my God. Like 9-year-olds don't have to, like, they don't have the maturity to deal with, oh, I got to change my pad or whatever. Like, I mean, it sounds dumb, but it's not. For a 9-year-old, that's a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
Try to explain it like as a parent.
Exactly. You know? Oh boy. All right. So on a whole different side of medicine. So a revolutionary new drug for sleep apnea could put an end to CPAP machines by Rita Weigel?
Whatever.
Sure. Yeah, Wiggle is too cute. On May 31st, 2024. A revolutionary new drug called...
What? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
I was thinking wiggly. But
Oh, yeah. You're still there.
Okay, so it's called apnexolin. Apnexolin.
That.
Obviously because it's apnea, so they're using that. So apnexolin.
Okay. Could provide relief for millions of Americans suffering from sleep apnea, potentially reducing the need for bulky and uncomfortable CPAP machines. Sleep apnea is a condition where breathing repeatedly stops during sleep, leading to poor sleep quality and health issues like high blood pressure and heart problems. This new medication taken as a daily pill before bedtime works by stimulating the brain to maintain steady breathing throughout the night. In clinical trials, this drug significantly reduced breathing pauses and allowed patients to get more restful sleep without a CPAP. While CPAP machines are currently the gold standard treatment for sleep apnea, many find them inconvenient and hard to use consistently. Yeah, like my mom needs a CPAP and she refuses to use it because of it. Like, it's
because of the mask.
the whole thing. Like
The whole idea of it is a lot, even though there's a lot of sleep apnea machines now that are much more compact and not as
but
bulky.
still, it's like the mask wearing and all that. Yeah. Anyway, so only about 50% of patients prescribed a CPAP stick with long term. Yeah, my mom was definitely in the non-using 50%.
Yeah.
This drug offers an easier alternative that could greatly improve compliance. The drug is fast-acting, well-tolerated, and doesn't cause morning drowsiness. If approved by the FDA, it could be the first drug specifically for treating sleep apnea. Experts caution that this drug may not completely eliminate the need for CPAPs in patients, especially those with severe apnea. More research is still needed for the long-term safety and effectiveness. However, this medication represents an exciting development that could be life-changing for millions struggling with sleep apnea and CPAP therapy. Obviously, talk to your doctor to see, if this is a good drug for you to take when it becomes available. So, I mean, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. I'm all for this is the kind of research that I really love reading because it's not only that you need it medically to improve your quality of life, but truly, like, the quality of life is improving. Imagine not having to sleep connected to a machine.
Yeah, and then you just sleep better.
So, yeah, and it's just a pill.
And we've talked a million times how important sleep is. Like, we talk about it all the time. So, yeah.
All right, so the FDA approves the first mRNA RSV vaccine by Catherine Kahn, May 31st, 2024. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved the first vaccine for respiratory syncytial virus, or commonly known as RSV. So RSV is a common respiratory virus that can cause serious illness, especially in infants, young children, and older adults. The newly approved vaccine called Abrysvo, sorry, I used the PD version of it, so I guess that's the adult one. The new approved vaccine called Abrysvo uses mRNA technology similar to the COVID-19 vaccines. It's given as a single dose, and it's approved for adults 60 and older. In clinical trials, the vaccine was about 83% effective at preventing lower respiratory tract disease caused by RSV. RSV causes 60 to 120,000 hospitalizations and 6,000 to 10,000 deaths annually in adults 65 and older in the U.S. That is an insane amount.
Yeah, it's big.
Symptoms are usually mild and cold-like, but can progress to pneumonia and respiratory failure in vulnerable individuals.
Yeah.
Until now, there was no approved vaccine for RSV. This mRNA vaccine approval is a major milestone preventing this common and potentially serious respiratory illness, especially for older adults who are at higher risk for severe disease. The vaccine is also expected to become available in the fall ahead of the typical winter RSV season. So
you're using one for
kids? We are. Yeah,
nice.
I'm not sure why they're saying. I think they're just focusing on adults. Yes. So we use Beyfortus as well in pediatrics, and that recently was starting to be used in the U.S. It is not a new vaccine. It's been around for many years in Europe.
Okay.
But we have finally approved it here.
Okay.
So I think it's great. I've had kids with RSV that's just cough and congestion, but I've had kids with RSV end up on ECMO. So ECMO is, you're literally just alive because you're connected to a machine. So, and not just a respiratory machine, like we're talking about like heart, everything.
Right.
So I've seen it become very serious and fatal at times. So I am 100% for the vaccine.
Yeah.
This one, the adult one, is different though. It's an mRNA vaccine. The Beyfortus is not. Beyfortus is a monoclonal antibody.
Okay.
So I think there is a difference in the types of vaccines there. So, but yes, we do have a vaccine for
kiddos.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So the unexpected skin risk of summer margaritas by the pool.
It's called a margarita rash.
I didn't even know. I saw this. I saw it on
You should see the faces of my patients when I tell them about this.
No way.
Yeah.
I gotta tell Maria about this. Anyway, so by Rachel Robertson on May 30th, 2024. Enjoying margaritas by the pool this summer? Be careful. The lime juice in your drink could cause a nasty skin reaction when exposed to the sunlight. This condition called phytophotodermatitis.
Yeah, good.
happens when certain plant chemicals on your skin react with UV rays. Limes and other citrus fruits contain compounds called phyrocormorants.
Phyrocormorants. Yeah.
That. But when you get lime juice on your skin and then go out to the sun, these compounds are activated by the UV light. This then can cause a red rash that may blister or turn brown. Bartenders, cooks, and others who handle limes and other citrus fruits are especially at risk. One doctor treated a bartender with streaks of discoloration on her hands from squeezing limes. To prevent this, wash your hands well while handling limes. Be careful not to get lime juice on your skin when drinking margaritas outdoors or any drink with, citrus. And if you do develop a rash, see a dermatologist. They can prescribe creams to help it heal and all that good stuff. So enjoy those poolside cocktails this summer, but avoid the lime.
Yeah.
And, just be careful. Wash your hands and all that stuff.
Yeah, I had a kid come in and the dad was concerned about a rash on the kid's backside, and it was on both sides. And it was, it's, you don't see it all the time, but I do see it a lot.
Yeah.
And I asked the dad, I was like, did she use lime or something for something? Did she play with lime and he's like, well, we were in Mexico and I was making margaritas and I was grabbing her and tossing her into the air.
Oh, damn.
And I'm like, that's it. I'm like, and it was perfect. The dad put his hands
Wow.
on her. It was exactly where it was, and it ended up going away. But it does take a long time for it to go away.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. So surveys have found that men are willing to use new types of birth control medication.
We had been wondering about it since the last time
we talked
that
about this last time. And we said, we don't think that guys are going to be really into it, but I guess not. So by Carolyn Hopkins on June 2nd, 2024. So researchers have developed a new male birth control gel that is showing promising results in clinical trials. The clear gel is applied to the shoulders daily and works by suppressing sperm production in men. In a recent phase 2 trial involving 222 men ages 18 to 50, 86% of the participants achieved effective contraceptive levels of sperm suppression after just 12 weeks of daily gel use. On average, sperm counts dropped low enough for contraception after only 8 weeks, which was faster than the expected. The gel contains a combination of testosterone and a synthetic hormone called nesterone. By delivering these hormones through the skin, the gel aims to prevent sperm production while still maintaining male sex drive and avoiding other side effects that have hindered the development of male birth controls in the past.
Which that's been the main concern.
Exactly. So far, the trial participants have maintained normal sexual function with testosterone levels in a range sufficient for health and well-being. The next step is a larger year-long trial to assess the gel's ability to actually prevent pregnancy in couples. Despite decades of research, no hormonal birth control for men has yet reached the market, largely due to lack of funding for the large clinical trials needed for FDA approval. However, researchers are optimistic that the success of this gel could spur more investment into male contraceptive development to provide new family planning options for men and their partners in the future.
Yep. Now we know.
Yeah.
I guess people are more into it now. All right. So since we had done I think it was two-part episode, was it?
Yeah, in October.
Yeah, of last year. Check that out. I think it's on our Patreon.
Our Patreon, yeah.
On near-death experiences. And this recently came out in the news, so let's talk about it a little bit. So Lifting the Veil on Near-Death Experiences by Rachel Newer on May 14, 2024, published on Scientific American. So near-death experiences, or NDEs, are real phenomena experienced by an estimated 5 to 10% of the general population, including 10 to 23% of cardiac arrest survivors. Neuroscientists like Charlotte Marshall and Christoph Koch, no longer question the reality that people truly experience something profound during NDE. Those who have an NDE often report a noetic quality that changes their life perspective. NDEs have been documented across cultures and history. A growing number of scholars accept NDEs as a unique state of consciousness that can provide insights into the nature of consciousness itself. While only a few research teams have empirically studied the neurobiology of NDEs, their findings challenge beliefs that consciousness ceases immediately after the heart stops. The study of NDEs is critical in detangling empirical findings from beliefs about what happens when we die. One NDE survivor described being bathed in a clear light of universal consciousness and love, an experience that stayed with him years later. Regardless of how they are interpreted, studying NDEs may expand our understanding of human consciousness at the boundaries of life and death.
And that's kind of what
So
we
interesting.
had researched before, that everyone feels like a euphoria.
Exactly.
So-
Which people say that it's because of the rush of the chemicals and all that when you're dying. But I don't know, like people, it's so interesting when you read like what
Their
people have to
experiences,
what they have to say about it. It's
Everyone says
strange.
that they see old people from their families.
Yeah.
So it's like, where in the brain is this really
Yeah.
sparking?
Yeah. That's an interesting rabbit hole to go down.
That is a very interesting rabbit hole to go down. All right, so our last one, a rare deadly bacterial infection is on the rise in Japan. What is STSS? So this is by Neha Masi, and Francis Vinal on June 19, 2024, and this was published on the Washington Post. So there's a growing concern in Japan about a rare and dangerous bacterial infection called streptococcal toxic shock syndrome. It's actually not that rare, guys. We see it here too. Or STSS. This infection can be deadly and is often referred to as a flesh-eating bacteria. In the first 6 months of 2024, Japan has seen a record-breaking 1,019, right?
Yeah.
1,019.
Yeah,
Why does
that's
that
it.
sound wrong? Okay. Japan has seen a record-breaking 1,019 cases of STSS, which is more than the total number of cases for the entire previous year. Sadly, 77 people have already died from this infection, most of whom were over the age of 50. To put this in perspective, the United States reported only 145 cases of STSS in 2021. The Japanese government has issued a warning about this infection, and it's crucial for people to be aware of the risks. So this is obviously a strep infection, and there is a toxin that is released, with strep, and it can cause a severe infection, and it can lead to sepsis, and it can lead to basically your body going into shock. So that's why it's called shock syndrome. Okay. Or strep. Sorry, there's a staph. The's also one for staph. So, but yeah, that's why it's called streptococcal toxic from the toxin shock syndrome.
Interesting.
So yeah.
I mean, it's been all over the news, at least when it first came out. It was like everywhere, and people were worried about traveling to Japan and all that. So, I don't know. It's pretty odd. I hadn't heard about
Carry
it
some
before.
antibiotics.
Yeah.
Go to Japan.
I guess so. Yeah. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. That was our recap for this past month. If you guys see any news or anything like that you guys would like us to cover in our future recaps, we do this on a monthly basis. Let us know in any form of social media. We're on pretty much everywhere and anywhere. So let us know, and we'll definitely include it in one of our recaps.
Yes. And then follow us on all our social medias.
Check out our Patreon.
Yes. And all of our platforms for our podcast.
Yes.
And then new exciting news. We are going to start a newsletter soon. So if you have anything that you want to be included in the newsletter, let us know. Comment below or comment wherever you guys are listening to us, and then we'll take it into consideration.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Alrighty, guys. See you in the next one.
Bye.
Like, comment, review us on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, etc.
Check us out on Instagram and TikTok at Funny Medicine Podcast. Our Gmail is funnymedicine305@gmail.com. And remember, we are not diagnosing you.
Definitely not. Just funny stuff.
See you later, guys.